Chris Rock's career just got a big boost after a mighty slap, folks. Hall of Fame means he'll be doing more specials in movies, which will also mean lots of money too. Still not enough security though. So how much money is Rock worth today, and how does he spend it? Well, he has spent millions in several large houses, as every celebrity does. Then there's the footwear. Every celebrity must have a passion project, and Rock is undoubtedly purchasing as many Yeezys as he can get his hands on. How does Chris Rock spend his fortune? Let's find out in this video. Before we begin, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to be updated on today's most trending lavish stories. Only here on Modern Luxury, the high-end stories of today. Chris Rock is one of the most famous comedians in America and has been involved in several successful projects. He's gone through Saturday Night Live, a well-known stand-up career, an unsuccessful film career, a much more successful voice acting career, and some pretty dangerous hosting gigs. So how much does he actually have? Well, it's really hard to tell at this point because his high-profile divorce in 2016 drastically hurt his bank account. Right now, he is thought to be worth around $60 million, but that might change if he starts working on another routine about what happened between him and Will Smith during the Oscars earlier this year. So imagine if Netflix's inevitable success will net you at least a few million more. So what do you do when you're a big Hollywood star and one of the most popular comedians of all time? Well, you're buying a luxury property. Well, actually, you're buying several luxury properties. But before we get to that, we need to take a look at Rock's humble beginnings. Let's take a look at the house that started it all. Rock's childhood home was a lovely place in Brooklyn. It appears to have been completely renovated with beautiful natural wood floors, beautiful bathrooms, and several spacious bedrooms. And I mean spacious by New York standards. In total, there are 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms with a half bath, all over 2,700 square feet. The house would probably cost about $1,090,000 to buy today, although renting the property appears to cost around $304,049 a month. Of course, the life Rock lived at home inspired the hit show Everyone Hates Chris. So I would say that what your parents originally paid for has just been paid for a dozen times. I've seen many homes that stars have bought when they hit it big, but few are as stylish as Chris Rock's. In the 90s, Rock called the garage on Brooklyn's Clinton Hill home. It's a stunningly beautiful place with a classic design. It has rich stonework, a beautiful ceiling, and timeless style that's worth millions. The interior is nice too. The home features exposed wood ceilings, wide open spaces, exposed brick walls, expertly renovated bathrooms, simple but beautiful bedrooms, and its own spiral staircase. My favorite part of the house is the open deck area where, Rock had a few parties and get-togethers while he was working on Saturday Night Live. Imagine the parties thrown with Chris Rock, Adam Sandler, Chris Farley, David Spade, and Rob Schneider. They were legendary. I mean, why else would they be making horrible movies together for decades? Rock eventually moved on but retained ownership for some time. Instead of using it as a second or third home, Rock tried to own it. He rented out the house to renters for $8,000 a month. I feel like it's lost a solid film franchise on this very subject. Can you imagine a movie where Chris Rock has to play a landlord who is overwhelmed with a bunch of crazy tenants? Eventually, however, he grew tired of his ownership. In 2017, it was finally time to sell his 90s bachelor pad. He managed to put the apartment up for sale for $3.85 million, and that's pretty close to what he earned. This is a silly change compared to some houses in your neighborhood. When it was time for Rock to move on, he ended up in one of New Jersey's most famously seedy suburbs. In 2001, he moved to Alpine, New Jersey with his family. Forbes ranked this area as one of the most expensive in the United States with an average home price of more than $4 million. And that's on the low side too. There are some really crazy houses that can be worth more than $25 million. There you will see many high-profile celebrities such as Tracy Morgan, Eddie Murphy, Stevie Wonder, P. Diddy, and Jay-Z. This seems to be the development of stars who want to live near New York but don't really want to live in New York. Despite all his high-profile neighbors, Rock joked at one of his stand-up shows that his neighbor was far from the most impressive celebrities to ever grace the neighborhood. He literally lived right next door to a dentist. Even in celebrity neighborhoods, you can't get rid of these boring people. They're everywhere. Compared to many other houses I've seen in the area, Rock's house is really quaint. It's a fairly large house with a fairly standard appearance, by the standard of a giant house. You come to a huge black door and a lot of greenery everywhere that the Rock family keeps quite private. Therefore, there are still no photos of the interior. Still, we know quite a bit about it. The house features 6 rooms, a wraparound driveway, an in-ground pool, and even multiple kitchens. Interestingly, it has also been confirmed that Rock's family even has 7 chimneys because 6 clearly wouldn't be enough. Rock's home is rumored to have its own fully stocked playroom. Now Sega really needs to start working on that Street Fighter Oscar edition. The pool area should be something very special for Rock. See, apparently he never learned to swim as a kid, so he literally took the plunge at the deep end, realizing that as an adult who knew exactly what the consequences could be, he was genuinely terrified. Eventually, he was able to get over his fear and said it really cemented that era in his life. Conquering new challenges and overcoming old fears, most people don't have much of a pool. When Rock had his high-profile divorce, he moved out of the house, but the family was not opposed by Rock. That's pretty impressive considering the house is worth over $3 million. When Rock moved out, he apparently moved to another platform in the same area to be near his daughters. However, no one knows exactly where it is. I don't know how Rock's secret house could still be a secret in one of the most famous neighborhoods in the United States. He would be willing to live in a small place just so he could visit his children. That would cost him at least a few million. Like many Hollywood stars, Chris Rock has a real passion for sneakers. He doesn't exactly have a collection like DJ Khaled's though, but who does? Still, he was often seen with some of the best kicks. Interestingly, Rock said when he was a kid that his parents discussed getting him a pair of Pumas, which were only worth about $30 as if they were expensive. That's funny considering vintage Pumas from the 80s can cost hundreds today. Now happy to spend hundreds of dollars of the shoes he wants for himself, he has gone beyond what everyone hates Chris Rock's wildest dreams. Chris is a big fan of the Yeezys. In fact, he appeared on Sneaker Buys where he showed how deep his passion runs. On the show, he revealed that his favorite hip-hop album of all time is Ye's My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. His love for the Ye sneaker line makes a lot of sense when we saw him sift through row upon row of Yeezys with a combination of the childlike joy of a kid in a candy store and the deep concentration of an art connoisseur choosing a new painting. For someone like Rock, these shoes are much more than shoes, they are works of art. There are several stages to shopping with Rock. 1. He says that every time you go shopping for shoes, you should buy a pair that's outside your comfort zone. This time for Rock, he said he was in the market for Adidas Easy Cream 700 V2s. These can be on the low end for just over $200, but can fetch prices as high as $500. Now that you're looking at these plain white sneakers, you might be wondering how Chris Rock stepped out of his comfort zone. Well, Rock says he loves wearing dark shoes. If you haven't noticed in most of his stand-ups and talk show appearances, Rock is almost always in dark colors. So after something strange happened, Rock is seen going through all the shoes and showing which ones he already has. Turns out that's a lot of Yeezys. Is there really a bigger flex? The next step is to pick out shoes and try them on for 80s montage fun and then order a size 10.5. If you don't have the shoe in his size, prepare for a roast. After all, he's Chris Rock. He ended up settling on a pair of Yeezys along with a pair of purple and yellow Kobe 7 Yin Yangs. They normally go for around $200, but they can go for as high as $1,300. Finally, we come to the last phase, the time of payment. A sneaker shopping trip with Chris can easily cost $2,000. However, that's not much for someone like Chris Rock. Most notably, his love for Yeezys has probably cost him a lot more over the years. I think the best reveal of the episode was a little glimpse into the friendship Ye and Rock have in real life. We already know that the two collaborated on the Blame Game Over, Rock's favorite hip-hop album of all time. He has even defended Ye as the controversy mounts around him. This deep connection could be because West actually sent free Yeezys to Rock's house. But they weren't really for Rock. They were shoes for his kids in the right sizes and everything. That's a very sweet gesture. Rock also loves Air Jordans, but who doesn't? He doesn't exactly have the same love for Michael Jordan that other people do. As he rose, the Chicago Bulls made history with Michael Jordan, while Rock was a self-proclaimed Knicks superfan. So he could sit on the sidelines while Michael Jordan slaughtered his team on the field. Still, he was dazzled enough to hang out with the NBA legend as he hosted SNL, while Rock worked there. He said it was even better than hanging out with the likes of Michael Jackson and Eddie Murphy, who were megastars in the 90s, and according to Chris Rock, Jordan was more like meeting a superhero like Iron Man or something. He was spotted on the cover of his first album, Born Suspect, with a great Jordan 5. While these shoes probably cost a few $100s in 1991, you can resell them for as much as $3,700 today. So those are the memories that Rock carries with him while watching Jordan. Then there's his stint as Lil Penny for the Nike commercials that reshaped his career. If you weren't around in the 90s, this was a commercial where Chris Rock played this little henchman. You just really had to see it to understand. Even though you might think his closet would be full of free shoes from the concert, he said he never received a single pair. Not only does he enjoy buying Jordans for himself, but he often gives them away to all his friends as gifts. We're talking about giving away Air Force Ones, which can cost hundreds of dollars, which he seems to throw away like candy. If you're a big basketball fan and also a big celebrity, you need to sit courtside. Just ask Samuel L. Jackson, Spike Lee, Jack Nicholson, or Adele. He's frequently seen in games that are downright fun. According to Rock, his shoe choices are often inspired by this very hobby. So the pressure is to have flawless Yeezys or Jordans when you move on to the next piece. How much do these types of tickets cost? Well, according to Rock, he says he spends about $2,000 for one of the best seats money can buy. That can also be cheap. In big games, these can cost as much as $7,000. Who knows, maybe Chris Rock will get a special discount. He's one of the most famous Knicks fans out there. Chris Rock doesn't have the most impressive car collection out there. He's just not a car guy, and there's no problem with that at all. But that doesn't mean he doesn't have cars to get excited about. Although Rock doesn't like buying fancy cars, his friends have other ideas. Adam Sandler gave all adult stars their own Maserati as a thank you. Each of these Maseratis reportedly cost around $170,000. It looks like Sandler stepped in for all the bells and whistles too, so this one was quite a treat. Although Rock didn't pose next to it, we were able to see David Spade posing with his. I guess it's exactly the same as what Rock got. Rock's taste for cars is surprisingly normal. In 2013, Chris Rock took to Twitter to officially announce that he had purchased a new Dodge Durango. For Chris Rock, one impressive car purchase is a $30,000 SUV that most people could probably put a down payment on. But there's actually something cute about that. In case you don't already know, Chris Rock is really worth being friends with. He is known for giving his friends very expensive gifts that most of us would love. Perhaps the most famous story of this kind of thing involves a script and a fast approaching deadline. The story goes that Chris Rock was working on a screenplay for I Think I Love My Wife. Apparently, the studio wanted some rewrites, and a stressed out Chris Rock desperately needed all the help he could get. So he reached out to some fun celebrity friends to pass on the script and cheer him on. These included beloved funny woman Tina Fey and outlaw funny man Louis C.K. After the two helped him finish the script, he paid for his time with a truly extraordinary gift. Well, a gift on top of the $5,000 he owed them for their time as professional writers. Everyone got their own Rolex Submariner. Both were valued at around $7,000, which was more than he actually paid them. What's even more fun is the registration. Both had the same thank you card on the back that said, "Thanks, mother cluckers." I mean, Rock obviously didn't say that, but I had to go with the daytime TV version for obvious reasons. To be honest, I saw I Think I Love My Wife at the cinema, and I think Rock owes me a Rolex Submariner for just watching it. CK and Faye weren't enough to help with that. And Netflix paid Chris Rock $40 million for 2 specials. So, are you amazed of how rich Chris Rock is? Let us know in the comments below. If you liked and enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. For more insightful videos, get notified by clicking the bell button below. From the high-end stories of today, this is Modern Luxury. As always, we look forward to seeing you again in one of our videos. Thanks for watching.